recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivia Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivia Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
Take these broken wings, it's Mr.
Broken wings.
Son of a bee sting.
Chris.
I thought it was about a tree falling. I thought it was talking about a person going down. Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Carmela.
My vodka's telling me that no, they didn't.
And the answer is yes, they were in 1854.
You lied to me!
Ben.
Jonathan was literally about to break things. He wasn't kidding. He was about to get it from his desk and destroy something valuable.
And the rest of the Trivia Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan. I am here today with Carmela Smith. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm also here, surprisingly enough, 2 times in a row with Mr. Ben Young. Hello, Ben.
Hey, I'm glad you decided not to permanently kick me off the show after that last.
Yeah, if you missed it, episode 219, you can find it over at trivialwarfarearmy.com. You need to be a lieutenant in the Trivial Warfare Army in order to listen. But episode 219, the return of Ben. It's been like 2 months before that.
Yeah, it was quite lackluster, but still worth a
No.
listen.
It was not. It was a good show.
Oh, no, the show was great. My return was lackluster.
So basically what Ben's saying is he performed like normal.
Yes, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
You're supposed to get frustrated with me. You're not supposed to accept.
I'm so humbled from the
Ben came back a new man.
just the debauchery that ensued there. I'm so humbled.
Debauchery means a different thing, bro.
Oh, see, I can't even do that right.
Debauchery means like.
No, that didn't happen.
Okay, good. So, before we get to warming up, Chris.
Carmela's like, what?
You two would be bears.
Yeah, very much so. I'm extremely ursine.
As am I.
We are joined today by special guest, Mr. Paul Mclaughlin. Now, am I pronouncing your last name right, Paul?
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
So close enough.
You're like Sarah. Related?
Yeah, exactly. But not spelled the same.
Do you make people cry with dog videos?
Not in the same way as she does.
Oh. So,
Cry laughing. That's what he does.
Paul, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from, what you do, and something interesting about yourself.
I am Paul Mclaughlin from Brick Township, New Jersey. I am a 51-year-old retiree, not by choice, by injury, but that's a story for a whole nother time. Something interesting about me. I proposed to my wife at a trivia game using the trivia host, making it a trivia question. If your name were Rachel and Paul asked you to marry him, would you say yes?
Oh, wow.
And she got it right.
That's fantastic. That took some stones.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody named Rebecca in the bar's like, nope. Except for the right one.
Rachel.
Oh,
Well, there you
same
go.
thing.
No, it's not. You keep it up.
Can that be my bit so I don't have to do good?
I guess we're
No.
Jonathan,
Do better.
We're just the up brothers today, I guess. It's just what's going on there.
Let's intro the show. It up, Chris. Okay. All right. Great. So every person in the bar named Rachel's like, nope. Except for the right one. That's a very sweet story, Paul. I didn't know you were 51. I thought you were like, at least 62.
70.
Yeah.
Rude.
No, that's not true. Actually, you look younger than 51 for sure. I would have never guessed.
I thought you were
50s.
Jonathan's age.
Yeah, me
So.
too. Like 56, 57. All right. So very cool to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Much appreciated. Looking forward to it.
Before warming up, Chris, I want to let you know we are creating episodes of new shows all over the place. Tonight, I am recording the first episodes of something called Trivial Warfare Presents Foreplay. Speaking of debauchery.
Speaking of bears.
Exactly. Foreplay is going to be a game of connections, and Gary Middleton is going to be our primary writer. I'm really excited about this. We're also doing a show called Trivial Warfare Blitz, which is a very short form of Trivial Warfare with lightning round style questions. You can find that on Trivial Warfare Blitz and any podcast app, so go ahead and check those out. And now, it is time for Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
All right, today's Warm It Up, Chris, is brought to us by Jay Hyatt. Thank you, Jay.
Jay.
I love this. So Jay sent this in. He said, did they coexist? For each of the people, events, or things, I want you to tell me if they existed at the same time or not. For example, if person A lived from 1850 till 1900, and person B lived from 1890 to 1970, you would say yes, they coexisted for 10 years.
Got it.
And so on and so forth. I don't need to give you more examples than that, I don't think. If they were existing at any time with... Okay.
No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
If person C lived from 1920 to 1960 and object A was invented in 1965, they did not coexist.
So they did their time... Did
they overlap?
They did their time separately, Ben. They're both in jail now. All right, Ben is not with us. It's Paul and Redacted versus Jonathan. All right, here we go.
Oh, my God.
Ben, we'll start with you.
Did you hear about the two thieves that stole a calendar?
No.
They each got 6 months.
Oh.
That was a great dad joke.
I love it. Oh, so much.
I need to book that away right now.
Okay, Ben.
Yes.
Theodore Roosevelt and Nintendo, did they coexist?
Seems like a trick question. I'm going to say yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Nintendo was originally a toy manufacturer.
Nintendo is a card game. A company making Hanafuda playing cards. They came around in 1889. Roosevelt lived from 1858 until 1919.
Seems like a trick question.
All right, Paul. George Washington and sodium. Specifically, the discovery of sodium.
Oh, okay. I'm like sodium's kind of always been around.
Literally, he says, the date we're looking for here is the discovery of sodium, since sodium has pretty much always been around.
I'm with you, Jay.
I am going to go no. No, I think it might have been post-Washington. I will say no.
George Washington died in 1799. Sodium was discovered in 1807.
All right.
Yay.
Good job. Carmela.
Yes.
Donatello and Leonardo da Vinci. Specifically not the Ninja Turtles.
Right. I'm going to say no.
Donatello lived from 1386 to 1466. Leonardo da Vinci was born in 1452.
Aww.
They overlapped for 14 years. Da Vinci was 14 when Donatello died. It's amazing they ever had time to get together and eat pizza.
Boo.
Oh.
In the sewer, too.
Yeah, I mean,
and sewers back then.
All of Italy was a sewer back then. That's not true. Italy's lovely.
That reminds me of a meme picture I saw, and it was this rat on a stair with a piece of pizza that had been dragging away. And it's like, it's just a single father of 4 trying to feed his teenagers.
All right, Ben.
Yep.
James K. Polk and doorknobs.
Doorknobs?
Yes. Specifically turning doorknobs.
I'm going to say yeah.
No. James K. Polk died in 1849, while turning doorknobs were not invented until 1878.
How the hell did they open doors?
They pushed them open.
So nothing latched?
They could have latched, yeah. Lift the latch.
Oh.
A knob that turns is a different mechanism altogether.
I know what a doorknob is, Jonathan.
You know, it's a good point. I figured you did. But you asked questions in a way that made me
I know who Jim Morrison is, Jonathan.
The Lizard King.
That's funny.
Okay, Paul.
Yes.
Czechoslovakia and Justin Bieber.
Ooh, that's tricky.
I'm going to say yes. Yeah. They probably had a little crossover.
Justin Bieber was born in 1944.
No, he wasn't.
Czechoslovakia.
He was not born in 1944.
What is happening?
Yeah, he looks great for his age.
No, he really doesn't look great at any age. Justin Bieber was born in 1994. Czechoslovakia ceased to exist in 1992. 2 years off, my man. They did not exist together. Carmela.
I'm scared.
The planet Pluto and the iPhone.
iPhone came out in 2007. They voted for Pluto to be a dwarf planet in 2006, so I'm going to say no.
Pluto was demoted from being a planet in August 2006. The iPhone made its debut in June of 2007.
Wow.
You
Mostly done.
destroyed that.
Nailed it.
I mean, like, mic drop territory right there. Fantastic.
You did ask me a question about Pluto, so.
Ben, Niels Bohr, and Rutherford B. Hayes.
Ooh.
Sure. Yes, they coexisted.
Yes, they did.
Awesome.
Rutherford B. Hayes died in 1893, and Niels Bohr was born in 1885.
All right.
Paul.
Yes.
Landmines and William Shakespeare.
What was that first one? Landmines?
Landmines.
Mines. Okay. And Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Old Billy Shakes.
Yeah, they could have had some crossover. Why not? Watch where you step, Willie.
Landmines have been around for a really long time. Shakespeare lived from 1564 to 1616. Landmines were invented by the Chinese in 1277.
There you go.
Whoa.
All right.
By the way, William Wallace was alive when landmines were created.
Wow.
Carmela. Oh, we got a giggle.
They may take your legs, but they'll never take your freedom.
All right.
I apologize.
No, that's good. Carmela.
Yes.
King George III
Okay.
and lawnmowers.
Yes.
Lawnmowers were invented by Edwin Budding in 1830. King George III died in 1820.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Man, he lived a long time.
Ben, I saved this one for you when I saw it. Ford Motor Company and Queen Victoria.
Oh, boy. So Ford
Specifically,
Motors.
a Crown Vic.
Oh, yes. Yes. All right, so Ford Motor Company, that would have been 1910, right in that range. Queen Victoria, I know she's known for the second half of the 19th century. I'm going to say no, they did not coexist.
I think they did, because I think Queen Victoria died in 1910.
Queen Victoria died in 1901.
Oh, 1901.
Ford was founded in 1903.
01. Oh.
2 years apart. Good job, Ben.
Thanks.
We're going to do two more and be done here. I love these, by the way, Jay. Jay put a lot of work in by giving all the information.
I flipped the 1 and the 0.
Yeah, Jay did a wonderful job with this. Paul, East Germany, and The Simpsons.
There were a couple of episodes where they showed the Berlin Wall in current time, so yeah, there must be crossover. So yes,
Simpsons started in December 1989. East Germany existed until 1990. So 1 year of crossover. Carmela, wrapping up with you. Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks.
Oh gosh, how old was Rosa Parks during the The bus boycott. Yes.
Rosa Parks lived from 1913 until 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet Tubman was born in 1822 and lived until 1913.
Wow.
Rosa was born in February. Tubman passed away in March.
Wow.
They shared 1 month. You were correct.
That's incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
That's incredible.
That is literally the history of our country in 2 awesome women.
That's
That's
amazing.
so cool.
That's amazing.
All right, that is your warm it up, Chris question. Great job, Jay
Thank you,
Hyatt.
Jay.
Oh, that was a great.
Great job. Today's game, Paul and Ben are coming for Jonathan. Carmela's hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right, let's do it.
All right, your first question in round 1 is in the category sports adjacent.
Sports Jason.
In The Simpsons,
What wall did the Who play on?
Homer was briefly a mascot for Springfield's minor league baseball team known by what name?
I am locked in.
All right.
Isotopes?
Ben, what? Yeah, definitely the Isotopes.
Yep, we'll lock in that.
Fun fact. Tonight, oh crap, Paul's playing. I'm going to make sure you don't get this one. Tonight on the Foreplay recordings, one of the connections has Isotopes in it. And the connection is Springfield.
Oh, really?
So I literally had this refreshed this morning. I said Isotopes.
Fair. The answer is the Springfield Isotopes.
I would not have gotten that if it wasn't for this morning. No joke. Good job out of Ben, though. When's the last time you saw the Simpsons Isotopes episode?
Well, the
I
Isotopes
think
have shown up in a few episodes, but the Homer mascot one was 1 episode.
I think something about the Homer mascot came up a few weeks ago in the Facebook group.
Oh, wow.
Go dancing, Homer.
All right, your next category is brought to us by Ryan Mahoney.
Thanks,
Hey,
Ryan.
All in the Family. What company was founded in Providence, Rhode Island in 1923 by Herman, Hillel, and Henry Hassenfeld, and is now the largest toy maker in the world in terms of stock market value?
Can you repeat, please?
Sure. What company was founded in Providence, Rhode Island in 1923 by Herman, Hillel, and Henry Hassenfeld, and is now the largest toy maker in the world in terms of stock market value?
I'm locked in.
I got a guess, Paul.
Okay, I'm working on one, but what do you got?
I'm thinking Hasbro. Hassenfeld Brothers.
Yep, that's okay. I love it.
Yeah, Hasbro just bought up like a lot of the rights to like Monopoly and Game of Life, and because Monopoly used to be Parker Brothers, all that stuff is Hasbro now. A lot of it is.
Right. Yeah, let's lock that in.
Lock it in, Hasbro.
I don't like this situation where Ben's like getting things right all the time. This whole like 2 questions, 2 answers. This is
That
intimidating.
means he's only got 1 left.
Yeah, but what am I going to do if he keeps doing this?
I don't know.
I didn't have any clue until I put the question together, which was a beautifully written question, because it gave me what I needed to say. I said Hasbro, Mattel, Tyco. Wait, she said Hassenfeld. There were 3 of them. They could be brothers, Hasbro. Boom. Locked in with Hasbro.
So the company used to originally be called Hassenfeld Brothers because Herman, Hillel, and Henry were all brothers, and they shortened it to Hasbro.
Wow. Like I said, Ben is scaring me right now because he hasn't even been close to being wrong at all yet.
if the Parker brothers are still around, they'd be Parbro.
Parbro. That's how I eat my steaks. Parbro.
What?
So thank you, Ryan. I actually really love that question. All right, your last question in the round is in the category location.
Location.
What major U.S. city is home to the home to the Museum of Modern Art?
Which one?
The one that is just called Museum of Modern Art, MoMA.
I mean,
I looked. This is exactly what it was called.
I know, but aren't there other ones called exactly the same thing?
I don't think so.
Could you look? I'm serious. I honestly think that like multiple cities have museums called Museum of Modern Art. Usually you put the city name in front of it, but that's not necessarily a different name. Like in Jacksonville, I believe we have JMOMA.
It's
Jacksonville.
This is just Museum of Modern Art.
And there's no one else with the same name.
Not that I see.
Okay. Then I guess I'm going to go with... God, feels like too easy, so it must be a trick. But I guess I'm going to fall for it. I am locked in.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with Jonathan. It does seem too easy. I've been to MoMA in New York City. I've never heard it called like New York Museum of Modern Art. It's always to me just been Museum of Modern Art. So that's my take on it.
The only other thought I had was Philadelphia has a very famous museum, and they do have modern things in there like Andy Warhol's, but they also have a lot of when I was there was an entire room devoted to Benjamin Franklin. There was like busts of Franklin, which I do not consider modern art. That would be a couple hundred years old. So I'm really leaning towards New York, especially since you've been there and you've got exposure with it. And I think that's a better answer than Philadelphia.
Yeah. Right. And New York is always a better answer than Philadelphia.
I'm going to leave that between you and you Northeasterners, and us Detroitans will just sit over in the Midwest.
So locking in New York?
Yep.
All right. I was choosing between New York and Chicago. I feel like they both have a Museum of Modern Art. I said New York, but I wouldn't be shocked if you tell me it's Chicago.
I have just Museum of Modern Art as New York City.
All right.
Right.
What's the one in Chicago called then? Let's look. Let's find out. Let's educate ourselves. Well, in Chicago, it's called Museum of Contemporary Art.
Eat that back.
They also have the Art Institute of Chicago. Well, there we go. Okay, so the one I was thinking of in Chicago is not the same name. It is 30-30 going into round 2. So that's the end of the first round. Before we go on to the second round, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by Smarty Pants. Smarty Pants is a trivia game run by Paul Paquette out of TriviaHallOfFame.com. You can find the link to the game right there on TriviaHallOfFame.com. It is 100 questions. It takes about an hour to do. You know what? You can do it by yourself, or you can get together with a friend and do it with a team. However you want to do it, that's fine. There is no cost. It is pay as you want to pay. If you want to do it for free, you can do it for free. The recommended price is about $5 per person, maybe $10 for a team. But you can sign up, get started, and see what you think it's worth. The next game is being released on May 22nd. So it's very soon. You need to go out to TriviaHallOfFame.com, click on the Smarty Pants link, and sign up right now. Folks, I can tell you, Paul is one of the best question writers in the world, and I'm not exaggerating at all. He is great. These are fabulous questions. It's another great way to get some trivia in your life. Go to TriviaHallOfFame.com and click on the Smarty Pants link to get started. All right, let's go ahead and get the second round started.
All right. Your first category in round 2 is obligatory sports question.
2 sports questions in the same, first 4 questions? Gosh, Carmela.
She's getting them out the way.
Yeah.
Move, question. Get out the way.
You see the headlights.
Kyler Murray is the most recent recipient of the Heisman Trophy while playing for the Oklahoma Sooners. Murray initially played for Texas A&M. The first freshman to win the Heisman also played for Texas A&M. Who was that?
Oh.
I can lock that in, Paul.
Then you go right ahead.
We're locked in.
Okay. This is not super far back. But who is it? Who is it? Is it a friend of mine? Who is it? Shut up.
You're telling my eyes to shut up? I didn't even say anything.
All right, so I think I finally got an answer. I was trying to think, who's the guy who was throwing to Mike Evans? Who's the guy who was throwing to Mike Evans? That's what I was trying to get to. I knew it wasn't too far back. I just locked in with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, we also locked in with Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel.
He was eventually drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but I think now he plays arena football, and is Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
All right.
He was playing in the CFL for a while.
Every time I hear Kyler Murphy's name these past few weeks, all I can think is, do you know your parents named you after a Beavis and Butthead sketch?
Next category is Troubles. The Bogside Massacre was an incident that occurred in Northern Ireland in the 1970s, but is better known by what moniker?
I'm locked in with a guess.
All right, Ben. Ireland 70s. I'm going to guess that it has something to do with the IRA, probably.
Yep, I wrote down IRA.
But I don't have a specific name in mind. I don't know if you do.
I was just going to like standard things like, Bloody Sunday, Black Monday, Bloody Mary. Just these are guesses. I don't know if they have any real connection here. Because the fighting was primarily religious, wasn't it?
Right.
Protestant versus Catholic.
Yep. Catholics and Protestants.
Yeah. So Bloody Sunday or
Bloody
something?
Sunday is as good a guess as any, I'd say.
All right. So we'll lock in with Bloody Sunday.
All right.
Boy, I wish I'd come up with that. As soon as you said it, I'm like, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. That's a song sang about an event. That's probably right. I didn't know it all. But because she brought up Ireland, I said the St. Patrick's Day Massacre.
Ooh, that sounds like a good answer.
My original, I called the category Troubles because the conflict in Northern Ireland that ended with the Good Friday, I think it was like Accord or something, it was called the Troubles.
Yep.
But my original category name was Song Inspiration because it is Bloody Sunday.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Great job, guys. Ben, I'm telling you right now, that's like...
I'm
pissing me off.
I'm way over.
That's 4 out of 5.
I'm approaching the Ted Williams line at this point.
You're approaching competence.
Approaching confidence.
Rude.
I'm almost there.
It's not rude.
It's like
it's insulting.
It's like competence. 2 miles, then turn right. I'm almost
Except
there.
you're in Jersey, so it's a damn jug handle.
No, we can make right turns here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And your last category in the round is in science.
Science.
There is one kind of living animal that has a skull but no spinal column, and it lives on the sea floor. This makes it a little difficult to classify taxonomically, but I'm pretty sure it's not due to black magic. What is the name of this species?
Could you read it again, please?
There is one kind of living animal that has a skull but no spinal column, and it lives on the sea floor. This makes it a little difficult to classify taxonomically, but I'm pretty sure it's not due to black magic. What is the name of this species?
I'm locked in.
All right. Well, living on the sea floor. I had written down like anglerfish and stuff, but no, if they're on the sea floor, starfish, sea cucumber, things like that, but not due to black magic.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's a pretty strong.
It's a good hint. I couldn't think of any black magic terms, so
she's a black
it's gonna be
magic
like
woman.
Spells and curses, voodoo.
Is there a black catfish?
Black catfish. Yeah, I'm about to say it sounds like something that got eaten a lot in my neighborhood. No, I'm so voodoo is like the best black magic thing I can think of at the moment. Which is the term voodoo actually has a Haitian descent to it. Voodoo fish, zombie fish,
Which is a thing.
That's a thing? Zombie fish?
I'm almost certain I've heard of that before.
But is she connecting zombies to black magic?
Yeah, it definitely has its roots in voodoo.
It does. Let's go with that, man. I don't think we're going to get anything better than that.
Zombie fish it is. All right, lock it in.
Yep.
Oh, I like that better than mine because she just came off of an Ireland question, and the song Zombie by the Cranberries was about the Troubles. And so that's a connection that she might have made. I guessed voodoo fish, but I wish I'd have said zombie fish.
A little bit about this fish before I give it to you. It kind of looks like an eel. So it's long and it's got an eel shape, but because it doesn't have a spinal column, they don't know if they should leave it in the category with the eels or if they should, move it around.
Is it a flobber worm?
No, it literally looks like an eel. It looks like a lamprey, but it is called a hagfish.
Oh, you're tall. I didn't know that's what you were looking for. I know a hagfish.
Hag is a witch.
Darn it. I didn't even think about a hagfish.
Clever.
They are ugly suckers.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they have a skull, but they have no vertebrate column, which is very strange.
At the end of the second round, Ben and Paul have 50. Jonathan has 40. 40 of those points are from Ben.
Yeah.
Paul helped.
Un poquito.
Aw, so rude.
I am in a supporting role
Just
today.
get used to it. It's not rude if it's constant.
Your time is coming, Paul.
You can say it's so normal for you.
Be better.
No.
I'm the rabbit in this race. You're gonna have to be our fourth leg and take us home.
So your first category in round 3 is I'm going to talk about Belize. Damn it!
Belize that.
In 1982, Belize gained its independence from the UK after becoming a colony in 1840. What was the country's name while under British control?
I'm going to lock in.
Belize City?
Which is the largest city, not the capital.
Is it really the largest city?
It is.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
What, you thought I made Belize City up?
Yes.
No, I knew it was a real place.
I didn't know it was a real place.
I will say this. My two weakest categories are geography and history. So you put them together like this? Yeah. Not for me.
Histography.
Okay. So, so Belize obviously sits on the Gulf of Mexico, I'm pretty sure. Right below
He says
Mexico.
that obviously, but what did I just say?
Oh, well,
And also he was like, I think.
And he thinks, but it actually may not.
It's part of Central America for sure.
Here's what I can tell you about Belize. My mother visited there.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you. That's it.
You're welcome.
Was it before 1982?
That's a good question to ask, actually.
Might have been right around then, actually.
I'm going to guess if it was a UK property, it's probably going to be something like New Wessex or something like that. It's probably going to have a name like that.
Playing off a UK location.
Yeah,
okay.
like all of your like American settlements, Jamestown and New York and New Hampshire and all that. New Wales or something. Belize is tropical agrarian. Were some really great agrarian places in London that they would name that after, or maybe seaports since Belize is on the Gulf. New South Wales. That's in Australia, isn't it?
That is Australian. With nothing better, I'd be fine with just New Wales.
All right, we're gonna lock in New Wales.
Okay.
I knew I didn't know enough to spend a lot of time on it. I just guessed British Honduras.
Ooh, that sounds like a good guess.
That might be an existing thing, though. That's why I'm not confident in it.
So until 1982, Belize was known as British Honduras.
What? That was great.
I was like, Ben said Honduras.
When he said Honduras, I was like,
All right, next category is and action. What would a videographer call the supplemental footage taken and intercut into their main footage?
I am locked in.
Well, the act of doing that is splicing. A splice reel is a thing, isn't it?
Sounds familiar.
Or just splice footage. The only other things that are coming to mind are like outtakes, but that's the exact opposite of that.
Right.
Unless it's like inputs, but
no intakes. That doesn't sound. I'm splicing. That's to me a stronger answer there, because I use that word all the time. And other like, okay, we need to splice in this or that. So,
all right, want to lock in splice footage?
Yep.
In TV and stuff like that, especially news broadcasts, you might have an interviewer or a reporter who is the primary focus, and then they take background information and background footage. And so the primary would be the A roll, and the background would be the B roll. And so they call it B roll.
It is called the B roll.
Yeah. So like when you're talking and reporting, and then they switch and start showing you like other stuff happening while the person's still talking over it with a voiceover, you're looking at B roll.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Your last category in the round is what's in a name?
Who is it?
In the show Three's Company, Suzanne Summers plays Chrissy Noelle Snow. Chrissy is a nickname that is short for what?
Do I guess obvious or do I guess obscure? I'm locked in.
Ben, it is Christmas.
Yeah, I like
Christmas. Noel Snow.
I was just thinking that it's got to have some type of like Santa Claus type thing in there. So, yep, let's lock in with that.
So I was silent for a while, and I was like, Chrissy, Christine, Christina. No, I don't feel like it's basic. And then I was like, chrysanthemum. Ooh, that sounds chrysanthemum Snow. And then she read it that last time, and it was Chrissy Noelle Snow. And I was like, it'd be funny if this was like a combo for snow, and then it's like Noelle Snow. Noelle, that's like Christmas. Chrissy, Christmas, snow, boom. Locked in Christmas.
So she does talk about it a few times in the show. Her name is Christmas Noelle Snow.
Nice.
All right.
At the end of the third round, Jonathan has 70. Paul and Ben have 60.
Jonathan right here sweeping rounds.
What? Got to clean them rounds up. They dirty.
Midpoint is brought to us by Greg Zethner.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
And your category is Everyone Loves Tom Hanks.
I can't argue.
That's true.
I'd like to argue, but nope. I love him.
Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg have collaborated on 5 films. What are those 5 movies?
Holy fudge. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm getting one. This is a problem. When you say collaborated, does it indicate anything other than they both had a, like even if they both funded a movie together or something, would that be collaborating, or is there
Not in this sense. These are going to be movies that Tom Hanks was in,
as an actor?
Steven Spielberg was
directing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and lock in. You wanted 5 or 4?
5.
5. All right. I'm locked in with bad answers.
All right, Paul.
I have one that I know for sure.
All right.
That's Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
And by know for sure, I mean I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah. I wrote down some guesses here because I'm not familiar with, I'm not certain that Spielberg directed any of these. So I was trying to think about things I know he directed and figure out the type of movie that it would be. So for me, Saving Private Ryan fits within that criteria. Mm-hmm. I feel strongly about Polar Express. So unless you've got information to the contrary, that seems like something that Spielberg might do.
I don't have anything that says absolutely not. Okay, I can get behind that.
And then I'm curious about the Toy Story movies.
I don't think I don't think Spielberg has anything to do with them.
I know they're DreamWorks, are they not? No, Toy Story's Disney, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're absolutely, well, they're Disney Pixar.
I've had a snafu very recently about that, so I'm very gun shy, as you will find as you listen to the episode. Yeah, episode 219. Yeah. All right, so Who directed Forrest Gump?
Not
Not Spielberg.
not him.
Okay.
Robert
That's fine.
Zemeckis.
It's fine. If it's not Spielberg, we don't have to worry about it.
No, it wasn't Spielberg.
What about Castaway?
I had that down, and I'm
Okay.
almost certain he did not.
Apollo 13.
Oh, that's a definite maybe.
And then the only other one I had, well, I scratched out Big because I know that was Penny Marshall. And then League of Their Own, I think, was also Penny Marshall.
I think so.
So I scratched those out. I put down Road to Perdition.
I have Road to Perdition with a question mark on my list here.
I wasn't sure because it wasn't a huge movie, so I don't know. And the only other one I had was Philadelphia, but it didn't seem like it was a good fit. I just was trying to write down movies I know he was in.
Right. The other ones that I have here are Sully, Catch Me If You Can, which I think Spielberg was involved with that,
Okay.
and Captain What's-His-Face, because I can't remember.
Crap. What was his name? Captain, was it a J? Captain Jones Johnson? It was a common last name. Phillips.
Yeah, 2 syllables,
Phillips?
I think.
Captain Phillips. Captain
Phillips.
something like that.
And I saw the thing. Just
I think that's possible. Sully. It was a great movie. I don't know.
But I don't think that was a Spielberg one, though.
What about Da Vinci Code?
I don't recall Spielberg having anything to do with that.
Okay, that's fine. So far we've got Saving Private Ryan, Polar Express. We
and
both
Apollo
felt
13.
Apollo 13, and then we said Road to Perdition is a maybe.
Right. And Catch Me If You Can. So we want to go those 5?
So Saving Private Ryan, Polar Express, Apollo 13, Road to Perdition, Catch Me If You Can.
Works for me.
Yep. We'll lock those in.
All right.
I'm terrible at this. I can say that objectively. I thought to myself, okay, I know Spielberg and Hanks have done a war movie, and I just tried to write down every Hanks movie I could think of and every Spielberg movie I could think of and figure out where they cross paths. And I came up with freaking War Horse, and I just want to stab myself in the eye. I wrote down a lot of movies. I just circled a bunch of them. So I said War Horse, Joe versus a Volcano, Philadelphia, The Terminal, and The Green Mile. I know Apollo 13 was Ron Howard.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was.
So that's why I didn't go with that. And there was a few others that I eliminated because I just knew they weren't him. But there's plenty of them that I got wrong. That's for sure.
All right.
Castaway was Robert Zemeckis. Polar Express was Robert Zemeckis. Road to Perdition was Sam Mendes. Frank Darabont did Green Mile. But the 5 that he did with Spielberg was Saving Private Ryan in 1998, Catch Me If You Can in 2002, The Terminal in 2004, Woo! Bridge of Spies in 2015.
Oh, you know what? I got stuck on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and I couldn't come up with the name of the movie.
And the most recent one was The Post in 2017.
All right.
The Post was a Spielberg
So you got
movie.
2 and I got 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
so
and
bad.
Apollo 13 was definitely
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. And I think Zemeckis also did Forrest Gump.
All right, well, 74-68. Jonathan has a 6-point lead coming out of the half point. Hello, everybody. That is the end of the first half of today's game, and I am happy to tell you that today's show is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes conquering the kitchen a true reality. You get delicious food. You get simple recipes. Anybody can do it. They take all of the planning right out of it for you. All you have to do is pick up the box, prep it the way they tell you, and you can eat healthier and happier as a family. I can tell you that Sebastian and I had some hearty pork chili just the other day, and it was really fantastic. I was very happy with the flavor in there. It had some poblano peppers in it, and it was just great. You know, something that I love about HelloFresh is that it only takes 30 minutes. That's the max. You're not going to spend more than 30 minutes. You're going to use a pot, maybe 2, maybe 1 pan, maybe nothing. There's so little that you have to do. 30 minutes max. It's fantastic. You can take advantage. You can get either the classic plan, the veggie plan, or the family plan, and you can switch whenever you want. There's something for everybody with HelloFresh. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/TWA80 and enter promo code TWA80. That's right. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/TWA80 and enter the promo code TWA80. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4. Your first category is mistaken identity.
Mistaken identities.
So I'm going to give a shout out to a podcast that I really, really like that I've been listening to called The Story Behind. It's by Emily Prokop.
Aw. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily. Emily's very sweet. I got a chance to have lunch with her a couple months ago.
Yep.
But I've been binging The Story Behind, and that's actually where I got the inspiration for this question. So, known for producing eerie and electronic tones, what instrument was used in the soundtrack for the films The Day the Earth Stood Still, The Lost Weekend, and First Man? It was not used in the theme for the original Star Trek series, though many mistakenly believe it.
I can lock this in if you like, Ben.
Yes, please.
I knew that's what you were going for, and I'm trying to remember the name for this stupid thing. I keep coming up with something like thiamine, and it's like, that's a vitamin! It's not a clavichord or a harpsichord or anything like that. A theremin. I'm locking in theremin.
Okay. Paul?
He's got it. It's a theremin. Possibly the only musical instrument you play without touching.
That's right. You kind of put your hands in this, like, between two antennae, and it makes the noise depending on positioning your hands. It is the subject of the first episode of A Story Behind. It is the theremin.
Nice.
Wow.
So they produce that noise with a bunch of instruments, and it's actually a woman's voice. It's like a soprano who holds that note
In Star Trek?
Mm-hmm, and they kind of just mesh it all together and makes it sound like it's a theremin.
Cool.
All right. Your next category is Find It on a Map.
All right, Paul, you can sit this one out. Ben's got you.
What did I just say 10 minutes ago?
I'm sorry.
I'm walking here.
What country, located in the South Caucasus region of Eurasia, is bordered by the Caspian Sea to the east and Iran to the south and west, and is with a capital city of Baku?
Spell the capital city, please.
Baku.
Capital cities that begin in B. That's ironic, don't you think?
Yeah, I know what you meant. Which means you should know this.
I know I should know it. That's why in my mind I'm looking at my list. I'm staring at my list in my mind. I'm also staring at a map in my mind. And the Middle East is so hard to keep straight.
Thanks to you promoting it so much, Carmela, I started using tiny cards a few weeks ago, thinking maybe this will help me with my devastating geography suckitude. And I actually did the one on the Middle East not that long ago. And it didn't help at all.
I'm trying to fit all of this together in my mind.
Oh. One of them I had Iran to the south and west, but this one just has Iran to the south. So I don't know if that helps anybody.
So can you look at a map and tell us which it is?
Yes. Give me just a second.
Thank you.
It is to the south. It is their southern border, but it is also slightly to the east, not the west. Sorry.
Oh.
So the Caspian Sea is directly east. Iran is south and slightly to the east. I wonder if I was looking at a rock before.
Oh, crap. I think I know what this is.
Okay. Well,
Just say Iran's to the south.
Discuss.
I just made a connection in my head here.
Do you want to lock in?
I definitely want to discuss it with you, Paul.
That's
So
probably
no.
for the best.
I'm about to show a great deal of lack of knowledge about where countries fit together. And it's driving me crazy because I have looked at this and studied it. I've studied the Black Sea. I've studied the Caspian Sea. Baku is just... Oh. All right. I'm locked in with my wrong answer. I also have 4 other potential wrong answers that I'm not sure if I should have gone with.
Oof.
All right.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right, Paul, what you thinking?
My favorite geographical name to say on the entire planet is Azerbaijan. And I seem to recall the last time they went there on The Amazing Race, they went to Baku.
That's a considerable amount of thunder you have there, Paul. I think we're going to go with that.
It's there's a little rumble there.
It's not quite Thunder Bluff.
Not quite Thunder Bluff. I could not get away from Kazakhstan. I didn't have real strong thunder on it, but I was trying to think of other countries in that area. But Azerbaijan seems like a much better fit from a geographical standpoint because I know that Azerbaijan is squarely in the Middle East where we're talking about. I don't know exactly where Kazakhstan is. So,
yeah, and I know they're both Middle Eastern, and that's all I've got on that. The only connection I'm making is Phil welcome them to Baku in Azerbaijan.
Right, let's do that then. Let's do that. Lock in Azerbaijan.
Okay, so Kazakhstan, I do know. It's if you go east from Kazakhstan, you reach Russia, Mongolia, China, like right where those 3 things are all close together. That's directly east of Kazakhstan.
I'm glad we didn't lock that in.
I was stuck thinking about things like Belarus and Moldova and Armenia and Romania and Slovakia, Slovenia. And I was just trying to picture the Caspian Sea. And then I got more confident that it might be like a Turkmenistan or a Tajikistan or one of those. And finally, at the last brief second, I just flashed in my mind to a map of the Caspian Sea and wrote down the word that I saw in my mind, and it was Azerbaijan.
Damn it, Jonathan's anus again.
So Armenia is to the west of this country, and it is also one of my favorite countries to say out loud. Azerbaijan.
It is just fun, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
You literally looked at a list 2 weeks ago of Baku and where it was.
Yes. So, well, there's a lot of things. There's 25 cities on that list.
That's true. One of them was not Belize City.
No. And I didn't get to look at the list long.
That's true.
But
Man, your list. Your last question in the round. Spot the difference. Earlier, we talked about the Museum of Modern Art. Jonathan.
To a great degree.
Earlier, we talked about the Museum of Modern Art. On permanent display at the MoMA is one of the most famous and recognizable paintings of the post-impressionist movement, and in reality, one of the most recognized in Western culture. It is a painting of a real place, though somewhat idealized, especially since the artist did not paint in the bars they had to look through while painting the scene, as they were in an asylum at the time. What is this painting?
I'm locked in, and if I'm right, I am mind blown. But I'm locked in.
All right, Paul, I got some randomness going on over here.
I'll take some randomness.
When you said it, the only thing that I have in my mind is I know there's this painting, I think it's called the Night Watchers, where it's like a city, but then there's like these big stars, and there's a dude doing like this on his face. And
Well, the dude like this on his face, that's The Scream by Munch.
that didn't have big stars.
There's...
I might have two paintings. I may be confusing two paintings.
You're actually confusing 3 paintings.
yeah. Yeah, I think you're mixing The Scream, Starry Night, and something else.
The Night Watch.
And Night's Watch.
Title.
I may have hurt more than I have helped here, Paul. So I'm just going to let you talk.
But if I'm taking a guess at something, it's going to be Starry Night. That, is a scene, you can see it's a cityscape, with the starry night above it, of course. No bars in it, but it could easily be painted from an asylum window. And would he have in an asylum? That's sticking to me. I think it may be Starry Night.
Okay, let's lock in with that.
Okay.
It's in one of those 17 paintings that I was confusing together there. So locked in, Starry Night.
So As you read the question, even the second time, I'm like, I don't know this. And I was like, okay, well, what paintings of asylums are there? What paintings of like doctors and patients and white and sterile? And then I'm like, she said one of the most recognizable paintings in Western culture. And I don't think anything like what I'm thinking in my head fits that. And then I was like, well, what if they were looking outside? And then it was like, oh, if they were looking outside, it could be anything. And I thought, okay, well, what artists might have been in an asylum? And I ended up with A Starry Night by Van Gogh.
Like I said, one of the most famous paintings in the post-impressionist movement, which include people like Seurat and Van Gogh, is Starry Night. He painted it. He was looking out the first floor window where they let him use it as a studio, and he just left the bars out.
It's incredible. Wow, we both swept that round, guys, and those weren't easy questions to sweep.
No.
This is a game right here. It's 104-98 after round 4.
Yeah, if you would have told me I would have swept a round that had geography and art, yeah, okay.
But you did it, man. You did it. All right. First category in round 5 is brought to us by Rob Warman.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Category is Yum.
Yum. Red Robin.
Yum.
Yum. That's good advertising right there.
Yeah. I say that to my sister a lot because her name's Robin.
Aw.
So, anyway, if you mix mashed garbanzo beans and spices, roll it into a ball, and deep fry it, you've just made what popular vegetarian dish, and frankly, one of my, as in Carmela, favorite things to eat?
I hope this is right. I don't think it's right. I hope it's right. I'm locked in.
It's so painful.
I don't think it's right, but I can't stop myself from saying it.
So, Ben, how often do you go out to dinner with Carmela?
Not that often.
Once a year.
Yeah, once a year. And that's when Jonathan's paying for it. But I know she's a fan of Italian.
Because she never comes to trivia with us. That's why. Just
That's
saying.
true.
Hashtag just saying.
I have been literally exhausted for a year.
Oh, we're never going to hear the end of this, are we?
That's actually why I don't come, because I'm too tired.
Oh.
She's a fan of Italian.
It's
Mashed
true, though.
garbanzo beans. I don't know if that's an Italian thing or if that's more of a Middle Eastern thing.
It sounds Middle Eastern to me. You know, you mix mashed beans with spices, deep fry it. Yeah, I don't get Italian from that.
Is it like an Azerbaijan hush puppy? Like, I don't know. So I know, for example, like, I don't know.
Hushabaisan.
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan puppy.
So I know that, okay, so chickpeas is hummus, right? So
Right.
garbanzo beans is not a chickpea. I don't even know what those look like.
Are you sure they're not the same thing?
Chickpeas and garbanzo beans?
Are they the same thing? I know
Dude, I
one
don't
or
know.
the other has another common name.
I don't know.
Garbanzo beans, chickpeas. I think they might be the same thing.
Well, hummus isn't deep fried, though. Like, I want to say something like tabbouleh, even though I know it's not tabbouleh, but I feel like it's something like that, like either Mediterranean or Middle Eastern. I really don't know here, Paul.
Bonzo balls.
Bonzo ball sounds
Bonzo balls.
amazing.
Let's go with that, bonzo balls.
Bonzo balls? All right. What the hell? Okay, bonzo balls it is.
All right. So the reason I struggled so much with writing this answer down is in my head, my knowledge of this word is a bread-like thing. It's for some reason my head thinks this is bread. But when she was describing it, I'm like, oh, she's talking about hummus. And then it's like, no, roll the hummus into a ball. By the way, garbanzo beans are chickpeas. Same
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Hey, I knew a thing.
There you go, Paul.
Yes. So take your hummus, roll it into a ball, and deep fry it. And I believe, even though my brain tells me it's a kind of bread, I think we're talking about falafel. So I locked in with falafel.
When you
And
said
halfway through you saying that, I knew exactly where you were going. Damn it.
so when you said Azerbaijan hush puppy, you actually weren't for
Right on the money.
it is falafel.
Wow.
That's what happened.
I felt like I had that before.
I love falafel.
Falafel to me sounds like it should be a pita dish.
I've had that
They
before.
put it in pita.
But that's not, you know what I mean, though. But
Yeah.
so, yeah, the ball itself is the falafel.
Yep.
The last time I was at a Greek restaurant, I had that. I just couldn't pull the name of it. I was like, this
I
sounds
love
like something I
falafel.
would have eaten, but
So your next category is family ties.
Show me that smile again.
Waiting for that.
Yeah, it's the wrong song.
It is the wrong song. Anyway,
Looking at the...
Louisa May Alcott's book, Little Women, depicts the lives of 4 sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. What is their last name?
Locked in.
Damn.
Damn.
I don't know, Paul.
I don't know, Ben.
I know,
That's
Ben.
not a good
He's
combination.
a good guy.
I have read this
Keaton?
decades ago.
Like Alex P. Keaton.
I'm floating in the Foster Forrester area, which could be way off. If we got nothing better, I will, with Zero Thunder, I would say Foster.
Okay. Lock in Foster.
Okay.
Last name's March.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Joe March. Yep.
When you said the category, and then you brought up the name of the book, I just wrote down the last name before you even started naming them because I knew that's what you were about to ask.
Well, fine.
Those are the best trivia questions.
Oh, I know. It's like you're predicting the question and the answer before it gets out. I love that feeling.
That's when you wish that you could just buzz in right there and say, okay, that's all the question you get.
Yep.
No more for you. Bah. Yes. Their last name was March.
All right.
Your last category in the round is Game of Thrones.
Uh-oh. I hope this isn't really the Game of Thrones. I'm dead.
Please let this be actual Game of Thrones.
Queen Victoria.
You know, we have had a serious lack of actual Game of Thrones questions, though.
Yeah.
There should probably be 1 or 2 of those sprinkled in our repertoire somewhere.
Yeah.
Before the end of this game, preferably.
No.
Queen Victoria was the last monarch of the House of Hanover. Her eldest son ascended to the throne and established the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. Who was this monarch?
Hey, oh, ha. I'm locked in.
All right. So I know from Warming Up Chris in previous episode that Victoria died in 1901.
That was this episode.
That was this episode.
Whatever. It's 1901.
Are
dang
you
it.
sure that the coffee has overtaken the IPAs?
My best guess is Edward VII.
Okay. If you're fairly confident about the time period, let's go with that.
Yeah, I know this, again, history, not the strongest for me, but I have tried to study monarchy lines, so I believe, I'm almost certain Edward VII was a son of Queen Victoria.
Okay.
So,
Let's go with it.
best I've got. Lock it in.
All right.
I wish I'd have guessed with an Edward. I didn't. I forgot about Edwards. I thought that this time, this house is a black hole for me. I'm aware of Hanovers, I'm aware of Windsors, and then this one feels like it had some movement. I guess I feel like there's Phillips in this house. Like Phillips and Edwards are what this house is made of, as far as I can remember. I went with Philip the First.
All right. Well, the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha turned into the House of Windsor.
Mhm.
They changed it to come away from their German ties during the World Wars.
Is that where the Merry Wives came from?
No, it comes from the place Windsor. But I get your logic. I understand what you were going for.
There were landmines.
Indeed.
So, you have the Victorian era. It was succeeded, by the Edwardian era. It is Edward VII.
Oh,
Nice. Great pull, Paul.
funny.
Edward VIII was the one who abdicated to Mary
Yes.
Wallace Simpson.
As soon as you said Edward, I'm like, damn it. Are there any Phillips in Saxe-Coburg?
There was, no, I don't think so.
Well, fudge.
Seeing the King's speech not all that long ago helped too.
Yeah, that does help.
At the end of round 5, Jonathan has 124. Ben and Paul have 108.
Round 6. First category is the greatest show on earth. If you were to see a funambulist perform, what are you watching?
Can you spell it, please?
Funambulist.
What's the category name?
The greatest show on earth.
Locked in.
All right, Paul. So I'm going from medical knowledge here. So I'm looking at ambulist. I think about ambulatory, which means walking. So a funambulist has something to do with walking. Maybe a stilt performer?
Well, greatest show on earth, circus. I'm thinking tightrope.
Tightrope. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's lock in with tightrope.
Okay, let's do it. Lock it in.
I said tightrope walker.
So if you're ambulating, you're walking. And if you are doing it in the greatest show on earth, you're probably a tightrope walker.
Right. Yeah.
Next.
I'm tightrope walking here. No.
Next category is I'm loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
They did that with a theremin.
For as long as there have been Happy Meals, there have been movie tie-in toys available at each box. What was the first movie to have a tie-in toy in Happy Meals in 1979?
I don't think it's Psycho. All right, I'm locked in.
So, Paul, I'm thinking about things from the late 70s that they would have marketed towards kids, movies specifically. Now, I know that Superman came out in, I believe it was 77.
The Christopher Reeve one, I think, was 78.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And then the sequel came quickly behind it. 79 was not one of the Star Wars years.
No, I know the answer isn't Star Wars. Burger Chef had the Star Wars toys.
Burger Chef?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't a Star Wars year anyway. I want to say Superman here.
You know what hits this, I think? Not Star Wars. Star Trek, the motion picture. That was 79.
That's not a bad answer.
And that was, those were big McDonald's going days for me back then. I was a kid then,
Right.
and I do seem to recall Star Trek glasses.
What McDonald's and Shatner seem to be like a match made in heaven for me, bro. So
because after he finishes eating McDonald's, he's going to go take a Shatner.
Ooh.
Oh. I would love it to be Star Trek after I made the theremin joke for McDonald's.
Indeed.
Aha, we found the tie-in, Ben.
There you go.
You good with this?
Yeah, let's do it. Star Trek, right?
Star Trek, the motion picture.
All right. Lock it in.
I guessed The Empire Strikes Back. I'm hoping that the toys came out before the movie.
Well, Jonathan, if you had gone with your theremin joke, you would have gotten it. Star Trek, the motion picture.
Nice pull,
Right.
Paul.
Well done. Danger zone right here. Last question of the 6th round coming up. Right now you have 128 and I have 134. You guys could turn the tables on me with the last question.
God, please be 89 Pistons. That would be so great right now.
80s hair metal. Come on.
Oh,
It's
80s any music. Between your side and my side, we got the 80s covered, man.
No doubt.
Well-
Steven Sondheim.
the cool thing is that it kind of relates to both of those things.
Okay.
Sort of. Not really. It's adjacent. Your category is science.
Science.
Again.
The smallest bone in the human body is located in the ear, which you need to listen to 80s hair metal and a basketball game.
Yep.
What is it called? There are 2 acceptable answers.
I was about to ask that. I'm locked in.
Okay.
Ben, I've got a bunch of them written down here, but I'm pretty sure I've honed in on what I like. I had the hammer, the stirrup. I'm pretty sure it's the stapes.
Stapes. Is there an anvil in there
which
somewhere?
might be another name for one of those, but I just know I've heard this question before. What's the smallest bone in the human body, and
Right.
me associating that with like it's the size of a staple. It's the stapes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there an anvil in there somewhere?
Yeah, the anvil, the hammer, and the stirrup are the three
Right.
main parts of the eardrum.
Yeah.
And again, the stapes is probably one of those.
Right. If you like stapes, man, let's lock it in.
Let's roll the dice on it.
All right.
So everything that you guys said is exactly what I thought of. And I was choosing between the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup because I didn't know stapies. And now that makes me afraid that it's a stirrup, but I guessed the hammer. So I locked in with hammer.
All right.
I'm hoping it's hammer time.
So there's a pretty cool webcomic out there called The Awkward Yeti. And the guy who does it kind of does anthropomorphized parts of the body.
The heart and the brain.
The heart and the brain.
stomach, every
Yeah.
once in a while.
So I love that guy. I've thrown money at him for years for different books. But
Did he ever pick it up?
I hope so.
Man, think about where it might be sitting. Still, jeez.
But he does a comic about this bone, and at one point it goes, "I'm the all-powerful Stapies." D. Also known as the stirrup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That is brutal. You swept the round. I missed 2.
Told you, Paul, your time came to shine. It happened to be the last 4 rounds of the game.
The score of 138 to 134. Paul and Ben are in the lead.
Oh, another close game.
Oh, yeah.
So your gauntlet category is Whoa-Oh, It's Magic.
You know.
My wager's locked in.
Okay, our wager is locked in.
All right. Your first question in the category of Whoa-Oh, It's Magic. Magic by Pilot is a song where you will find a lyric that contains the gauntlet category. The founders of the band, Billy Lyle and David Patton, were Scottish musicians that were briefly members of another Scottish band that was known for their teen idol popularity in the 70s. What is the name of that pop band?
Locked in.
I know this. Yeah, I can
Okay.
lock this in if you want, Ben.
Yeah, okay. Our answer's locked in.
Next question. What is the name of the powerful enchantress from Arthurian legend that is sometimes depicted as good, being an ally and protector of King Arthur, and other times as an evil adversary for the Knights of the Round Table?
I'm locked in.
Our answer's locked in.
And your last question in the gauntlet. Joe Manganiello is probably best known for playing a werewolf in True Blood and being married to Sofia Vergara. However, you can find him dancing in a convenience store to I Want It That Way in what movie?
I'm locked in.
All right, our answer's locked in.
We're locked in.
All right. Answer time. Magic by Pilot is a song where you will find the lyric that contains the gauntlet category. The founders, Billy Lyle and Dave Patton, were also in what other Scottish band? Jonathan?
I was desperately seeking Scottish bands, and the best one I could come up with was the Proclaimers.
Okay.
All right.
Ben and Paul? Paul seemed to know it right out.
Yeah, Billy Lyle, I'm almost certain, was in the Bay City Rollers.
All right. What is the name of the powerful enchantress in Arthurian legend that's sometimes depicted as good and other times evil? Paul and Ben?
We locked in with Morgan Le Fay.
I couldn't remember if her name was Morgan or Morgan or Morgana, so I just went LaFay.
Okay. Joe Manganiello was in what movie where he dances around in a convenience store to I Want It That Way?
It took me longer than it should. I was like, Witches of Eastwick, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Wait a minute, come on, Jonathan. And then I wrote down Magic Mike. I don't know who this person is, but it has magic in the name, so I said Magic Mike.
Do you ever see How I Met Your Mother?
Nope.
Okay. That's right. You don't watch anything.
There was a reference to him in Big Bang Theory. That's the only way I knew it.
Oh, cool.
Yep. He actually guest starred, and they talked, and he was, oh, he was in Magic Mike.
Oh, I don't watch Big Bang Theory, so I don't know.
We also said Magic Mike.
Yep, flashing back to the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas.
Man, I sure do hope her name is Morgan Le Fay.
All right. So, Billy Lyle and David Patton were in the Bay City Rollers.
I thought they were from like San Francisco or something.
Wrong Bay.
Well,
The enchantress was Morgan or Morgana Le Fay.
Oh, it was both. Damn. Please be Magic Mike XXL.
And Joe Manganiello was in both Magic Mikes, where he played, I have to kind of PG this a bit, Big D Ritchie.
Okay. Which one did he dance in?
The one he danced in the convenience store was Magic Mike XXL.
Oh!
Golly, man.
Oh! Woo! Snap!
So close.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
All right.
My soul is crushed.
I'm going to tell you right now, we had just come off a game where the difference between the two teams was only 2 points. And I went 0 as a team behind, explaining that with that few points separating, I didn't think that they would go with such a small bet as to make me have a risk at 0. This time, because Ben had just heard me explain that logic, I figured that he would think that I would likely go 0 again, so I didn't go 0. I went 12. What did you... I'm going to finish with 126 points. 124... No, 122 points. There we go.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm going to finish with 122 points. Guys, what did you wager?
Yeah, we bet to lock you out and
yes.
threw on 131, leaving us with a fat 7.
7. With a final score of 122-7. Jonathan is the winner. Oh my God. What a
Thanks to an XXL.
Thanks to a big Richie.
He's not the smartest character in that movie.
All right, we have some promotions to announce in the Trivial Warfare Army today. First up, we have a new lieutenant, David and Kaylin Long. Thank you guys so much. Lynn Atkinson Lovelace is a new lieutenant as well. Welcome. Remy Zane has joined us as a new captain. Remy's been a longtime member of the Facebook group. Welcome aboard, Remy. I'm working on those foreplay episodes now, so hopefully those will come out soon. Paul Osborne has promoted himself from captain to major. Thank you, Paul. Leslie Ring is joining us as a new lieutenant. Welcome, Leslie. Sandy Sundin has joined us as a new lieutenant. Thank you, Sandy. We're also joined by Claire Bancroft as a new lieutenant. Welcome, Claire. James Martin has promoted himself from lieutenant to captain. That's awesome. Thanks, James. Matt Roy is a new lieutenant in the Trivial Warfare Army. Thank you, Matt. I'd like to welcome Chad Ferguson, who's a new captain in the TWA. Thank you, Chad. Our old friend Russ Friedwald has promoted himself from private to lieutenant. Thank you, Russ. Welcome back. Elizabeth Hogan has done the same thing. She has promoted herself from private to lieutenant. Thank you, Elizabeth. Austin has joined us as a $5 lieutenant. Thank you, Austin. Amy Hufford is a new lieutenant. Welcome, Amy. Matthew Chong and Nick Smith have both joined us as lieutenants as well. Welcome, you two. I'd like to welcome George Craig, who is a new captain. Thank you, George. It was awesome to meet you out in Vegas. Charles Harper and Josh Stone are both joining us as new lieutenants. Thank you, gentlemen. Taylor Gibson is a new major. Welcome, Taylor. Jason Heaton is a new lieutenant. Thank you, Jason. Matthew Gittersonke? I'm never pronouncing that right, Matthew. Matthew Gittersonk or Gittersonke or maybe Jittersonke. Help me out with that one. Jump onto the Facebook group and let me know how to pronounce that. And I'm ending this week with a huge new general. That's right. The pair of Justin Wentz and Emily Riddle have joined us as a new general, and I am so excited about it. Turns out that Justin is local. He's in the he's just north of here in the Fernandina Beach area. So I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to meeting you guys and getting to know you both. Thank you so much to everyone who is supporting the show. We really appreciate it. If you want to be awesome like these folks, just go to trivialwarfarearmy.com and see where you want to slot in.
Paul, we like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs or promote a cause. It is your turn, my friend. What do you got?
Shout-out. Well, my wife and my youngest daughter, who left me without supervision to go back to Indiana for a week. So all the love in the world to them. And, of course, my older daughter, who's staying here with me. To my trivia team, Joe and Joe, the guys in Raging Cooper, and our newer addition, Haley. everybody in the New Jersey regiment of the TWA, which I might say might be the most well-represented state with players per square mile. There are quite a lot of us that at least travel, make it to that all made it to Vegas.
For sure.
A cause, well, my older daughter, she is type 1 diabetic, so the JDRF, or a wonderful thing to, if anybody has a couple of bucks they want to throw to, would be Camp Najeda, which is one of several summer camps for type 1 diabetics, where kids can go and not have to worry about it for a week or two, where everything is handled for them and they can just be kids again for a couple of weeks. I know there's many of them all over the country. Camp Najeda is the New Jersey one, but just type 1 diabetic camps, it would be the thing to Google, and it's great that they allow kids to do this. So
I like it.
That's pretty cool.
I like that a lot.
I do too. And I want to remind you guys who haven't heard in a while, Ben, Carmela, Chris, and I are currently nominees for the Trivia Hall of Fame. We will find out in August if we get in or not, but you can make a difference in that. You need to go to triviahalloffame.com and vote for us for the Trivia Hall of Fame if you want to see us in.
Yep.
All right, that is going to wrap us up. So for Paul, for Carmela, and for Ben, my name is Jonathan, and this has been another episode of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, guys. See you.
bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Trivial Warfare. To learn more about the show and become a warhead yourself, visit trivialwarfare.com. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes or in any other good podcast app. And find us on Facebook or Twitter by searching Trivial Warfare. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. If you need help with your podcast, find it at propodcastingservices.com.
Jonathan is not as much of a cluster as he is today.
I've never been called a cluster, Ben.
I could call you a catastrophe. Would that make you feel better?
Yes. I would be the only
like that.
catastrophe in the history of Trivial Warfare.
I didn't know that you could personalize. I didn't know that cluster could be people. I didn't know that you could wrap personality around that. I thought it was just.
You can do anything with a
It's true. That's a good point.
Your last hosting job was a catastrophe.
No, but I wasn't the catastrophe. The questions were.
Damn, by this
There's a lot of beeping.
communicative property of cluster, you were clearly
Is that? Did you just use math on me?
not on you, Ben. I don't roll like that.
around you.
Yes, it was near you.
It was. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
And if I can I just realized how I totally backed into that Simpsons one. They didn't. All I could picture when you asked was, "Oh, the Who playing on the Berlin Wall." That wasn't the Berlin Wall. That was the wall down the middle of Springfield that they built.
Indeed.
Same idea, though.
No.
Yep.
All
Hey,
right.
it worked for me. So.
Okay.
It's like an Andre the Giant fart that you're doing. It's just
16 seconds long.
seconds.
All right. There,
Songs.
mother. All right. There is one kind of living animal. Don't you dare do it again.
And I think I've had one vegetarian meal in my entire life, so that's.
Hated it.
This is not a strong suit.
I'm going to name my team at work Westeros.
Okay.
I've never seen the show. It's just.
I read all the books.
I don't know if I would recommend doing that. Not unless you want to inspire people to kill, maim, and each other.
Is that what Westeros is known for?
Sometimes.
Yes.
I'm gonna go another direction.
Smart move. Seriously smart move. You don't want that.
Dude, they came in at like 11 and I drank like 4 IPAs between midnight and 2 a.m. And then
That's
I got
not
up
that
at
many.
7. 4 IPAs is like
2 an hour.
12 Mick Ultras, dude. It's like double the amount of alcohol.
Who bases their drinking by how many Mick Ultras?
I was
it
trying to
counts
use a
as?
reference that you know, since you don't drink beer like
I don't
that.
drink Mick Ultra. I drink man's drinks.
I just want to punch your face in the face right
in the
now. I really
face.
do.
You're
Just
welcome
right in
to
the
do
face. No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it's a smart move.